from the city center, so the atmosphere here is better than in the hustle and bustle area.
Hustle, okay. Hustling and bustling area, because you know hustle and bustle, hustling and bustling area, so bustling area, so it's better to. So you live in actually flat, okay, very good. Well, so you know that you can use flat or apartment, so I'm not going to talk about it. So just let me actually say something when you want to answer this question. Okay, the first question of speaking part one. Okay, what kind? So of course you can mention if you live in a house, apartment, bungalow, or I don't know, maybe different types of accommodation that you can mention. And you can briefly talk about, for example, okay, maybe how many bedrooms or bathroom, or they're just, you know, just this, you know, that you don't need to actually give lots of information, because this is part one, so of course you will have a chance to talk about more details. Okay, so you can mention, but totally that was really good. So you live in actually apartment and far from hustle and bustle of city. Okay, that's great. And how long have you lived there?
Well, I've been lived there for about 10 years. So I think that to me it's more than a place to live. It's something that I've been linked to since I was in primary school.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like part of my life.
Yeah, of course. So you've been there for almost 10 years. Okay, very good. And do you plan to live there for a long time?
Well, yeah, I think so because I find really convenient and and the other services are amazing here, and I think it's kind of hard to find the same kind of quality in service with with the price like that. So I'm planning to live here with my family for about in the future.
Of course, very good. And is it a bought accommodation or a rented one?
Mm, abort.
Let me bought. Okay, so just let me write here the first actually maybe collocation. So bought accommodation or rented accommodation. You bought it. It's a bought accommodation. It's actually you own. A place
Yeah,
you
sure.
own is bought accommodation, or a place you rent is a rented accommodation.
So it is a bought accommodation.
Okay, so very good. Just, you know, when I say is that about accommodation, just as I told you, avoid repeating my question. So you can explain that, yeah, for example, we have bought it, I don't know, 10 years ago. So it's better to paraphrase my question. And let me ask another question so about the sport. So let me ask about typical maybe apartments and homes in Vietnam. So how or like if they are fully furnished, or for example, when you want to move to a new house, you need to take everything, or no, they're actually semi-furnished or fully furnished.
Mm, to be honest, I have little experience about this because normally I'm not the one who care about this. But I guess that um, it's uh, it's made. I think that most of house nowadays are equipped with most fully furniture for residents to move in.
Yeah, okay, very good. And tell me, uh, if you, of course, in the future, if you're going to choose a home for yourself, okay, maybe what Okay, so what is really important for you? So if, for example, the kitchen, or for example, study or a living room, I want to know the most important things about, choosing a home to live.
Mm, so it's like which part is the most important?
Maybe, of course. So some people actually likes home overlooks garden, maybe a street, or I don't know, a spacious living room. Have a wonderful view of the park. So what is really important for you?
Well, I think I could go for comfortable bedroom um, because I think that after a whole day, what I could like to do most is to living in my bedroom to chill out and do my things.
Uh,
So a bedroom which is comfortable for me, it's help to relieve stress and recharge my batteries. I think that I could spend little time, just a little time in other room, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, of course, very good. Well, so just let's mention a few phrases related to this actually question. So maybe, of course, not for you, but it's not bad to know. For example, when it comes to furnish, so for example, a house can be fully furnished or semi-furnished. Okay, at the same time, we can use another phrase for kitchen. So for example, my mom really likes to have a fully fitted kitchen. So for example, this one, fully, instead of saying fully furnished, we use fully fitted for kitchen. Really put us, you don't need to take everything. I don't know, buy something like refrigerator or move everything or carry everything from previous house to new one. So it's fully fitted kitchen. So you have everything that you need. And the second one, actually an adjective that you can use, and you notice, just I want to remind you, spacious. So having spacious bedroom, living room, okay, enough actually space, spacious, for example, living room or bedroom or something like this. And you can say having a wonderful view of somewhere. So for example, having a wonderful view of the, for example, park or street. Or you can also use this one, and we normally use this one, overlook. For example, I like to have a, for example, study room overlooks the garden or the street so that I can see people. Okay, so overlook, for example, the garden or anywhere. So here you can use it as a verb. Okay, and you talked about your bedroom. So it's like comfortable, warm, cozy place, cozy bedroom. So it's something like very warm, comfortable, you feel, or maybe study. So some people actually do care about study room because they need to have a actually separate place to study. Okay, so you can use this words and phrases when talking about actually your favorite or your ideal home or accommodation. Well, so let me ask you
I'm sorry,
another,
but
of course.
you haven't shared me the blackboard.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I started recording and I'm sorry. Okay. I
Yeah,
just,
it's fine.
yeah, okay. So is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, very good. So, okay. Well, okay. And now let me ask another question. Okay. So, is there anything about your house you would like to change?
Um, well. I think it's kind of hard to say that because I used to living here for more than half of my life. So everything's around me. I find everything's around me perfect, and if I like to change, um, I could um, I could go for the door. The door locked actually. It's not um, it's not really modern like to unlock by the face ID or the finger ID, but it's use the traditional key, which is sometimes annoying me because I lose key all the time. So it's I sometimes uh, my grandma is not home when I come home. I have to wait a really long time outside, and it's kind of uncomfortable.
Ah, of course, that was really good. Okay, so maybe, uh, okay, have you ever thought about adding an extension, a new part to your home?
Um, I don't know, but the shape of my house key it's a little bit hard to make another one. So I've put like like an automatically automatic lock that can be unlocked by Face ID or the password.
Yeah, of course, very good. Well, that was really good answer. Okay, and what's the difference between where you live now? Just let me say something. You said, I'm sorry, just I need to actually mention this one. Actually, you said I used to. When you know that when we use used to, we're talking about past, but you still live here, so that's definitely important to use the correct tense. So you need to, and you have to use present perfect here because you have been living here for a long time. Still true for present. When you say used to, it means it's over. So, but it's not, just don't forget about this. That's really important. Okay, or if you want to use for your actually present, don't forget about using gerund. So I'm used to living here. I'm used to living here and everything is okay to me. So maybe I'm not going to change anything. Okay, well, so what's the difference between where you live now and your last home actually before your current one?
Um, I think the biggest difference is the type of accommodation. The last house that I live, it's a big house, and now I'm living in a flat in an apartment. And to me, and personally, I find that living in flat is much more convenient and because everyone live near together in one story. So I feel that it's more cozy and it's much easier to meet other family members.
Okay, so it's cozier than before. Yeah, of course. Uh, well, so let's learn. Okay, that was really good, but actually, you have a word like comfortable that we normally use it. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you have an adjective comfortable that we normally use it, and it's really common, especially when talking about places. Okay, but you can also say, because you said cozy, and you can also say comfy. So it means comfortable. It's really cozy, comfy, okay, like comfortable, so you can use it. It's good. Well, and now let's learn some useful collocations when talking about especially home and accommodation. So you can actually, you know that. For example, you have a master bedroom. So you know that the biggest one. So I'm not going to talk about that, you know. Okay, and for example, you can talk about an open plan kitchen. It's open, so you can say open plan kitchen, or a king size, for example, bed. I love to have a king size so that I can easily move. Okay, and spacious, as I told you, and with a mod. Okay, so that's one is really important, with a modern look. So if you want to have a house, a home with modern look, because normally we say that, okay, it's traditional, so it's better to change it maybe. So I want to have a modern look living room, or for example, a home, or colorful rooms. That's really important. For example, to have some colorful rooms and, contrasting colors. So I want to have a bedroom, a colorful bedroom full of contrasting colors. So contrasting colors can be used. Of course, if you like, maybe some people, okay. And like fluffy cushions on the sofa, and pillows on the bed, so you can use, okay, fluffy cushions, especially when you talk about, because you may need to talk about and explain your favorite room. That can be your bedroom. Okay, how to explain it? You need to use some collocations. Okay, so let's write. For example, on the sofa, we normally have it, and pillows on the bed, because normally we have, okay? So it's something like, I want to have a fully furnished, okay? And for example, or some artificial plants, okay? If you want to have plants in your room, or no, maybe not real, so some artificial plants, or for example, a wooden like desk or something like this. So you can use wooden table, desk. So there are some collocations that you can use. Table or desk, okay, so, or artificial plants if you want, okay. And for example, so it's good. For example, an elegant bedroom. My bedroom is really elegant. Cozy, comfortable, okay, elegant, full of colors, spacious. So just, spacious and cozy are like for opposite, like cozy can be small and warm, spacious, okay, so it's different. And queen size, king size, or small bed. So you can talk about actually your bedroom, or for example, your bed, okay. Well, if you want to have some decorations, I don't know, something like paintings on the walls or photos, so you need to talk about them. Or for example, if you want to have a desk calendar, or I don't know, something like floor lamps or something like this. Okay. Well, let me ask another question, then we will discuss this collocation again. Well, just let me ask about the typical Vietnamese homes or houses. Okay, tell me about green space. So, for example, do you have actually, I don't know, lawn, places, areas covered by grass, or for example, or surrounded a high hedge? So would you briefly talk about a typical Vietnamese, maybe I'm talking about the outside of the house or home. So of course, not about apartment, just I'm talking about house. Would you briefly talk about a typical Vietnamese home accommodation?
Mm, well, mostly I find that um, they would like to decor their house by like flowers, plants, and like other thing, but not surrounded by grass, by green grass or something. It takes too much space, and um, uh, and for and for apartment, I think they prefer like open balcony that for drying clothes. So they don't really decor them much. Um, I think that surrounding by green grass or something is not really preferable in my country.
Okay, it's not really common. So, well, because you actually in the previous question you talked about your the house that you used to live. So it was a house. So of course, without garden, right? Or with garden? Without or with?
Um, it's with a garden. That
Okay, so let me show you something. Okay, I want to know because I want to teach you two words. Okay, let's have a look at this photo. So, okay, as you can see, we have this actually green area and this area, this one actually, as you can see, and we can use it if you have, if you know, actually it's surrounded, as you can see, we have a large lawn. Okay, this area is called lawn, an area that is covered with grass, and we have a hedge. It can be high or no, not really high. It's actually, it's not really high hedge, but it's called hedge. Now, when talking about garden, you can mention these two words. Of course, you say, okay, we don't, but it's not bad. Maybe something like not real, unreal, but you can, it's something like vocabulary that you need to know. So we have two words that we can use. The first one, for example, I used to live in actually a house with a wonderful view, okay, or overlooked garden, and actually it had a large lawn. So lawn means this area surrounded by hedge, this one. Okay. And you know, actually, I like to sit in the sun. Okay. And I was really happy to have a garden. So something like this when you, because actually there is a difference. It's better to mention some words and phrases related to house. Okay. Well, so this one. So did you have?
mm, no, but we have a small garden, but it's not like this.
Yeah.
It's somewhere that can grow vegetable.
Yeah. Ah, of course. And how about patio?
Um, I don't know this word.
Okay, I think I have something to show you if I can find it. So it's something like actually an area outside the house. Normally, of course, we use patio for actually house, not apartment or flat. So it's outside a house and you can see it. Okay, it's normally covered, not by a roof. Okay, but it's covered and you can see it. Like for example, especially, I don't know, in the afternoon. So it's green place so that you can see it and enjoy.
So it's not. It's
So
just something spacious around the house. But we normally use that for garage, for motorbike and car.
So let me show you. Just, I think it's not bad to have a photo here. Just wait a moment. I think if you see it, you can describe it better. Okay, so this one. I mean, of course, not actually exactly the same as this one, but I mean this one. Like, you know, look.
Wow, I
That's,
think
that's,
this
of course, not
requires
exactly
so
this.
much space. But
Not
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's an
but I think
outdoor space.
like we have that, but like on the rooftop of the house, on the
Ah,
rooftop.
of course, of course.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So
roof
we
garden.
can,
You have roof
yeah,
garden.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we can easily like chill out and watch the night sky at night.
Ah, of course. So roof garden. different. Okay, yeah, of course you have on the topest level of your apartment and roof. Okay, but here when we say patio, it's actually little, maybe something like little garden. Outer space generally used for, I don't know, something like dining or recreation or something like this. Well, okay, let's keep going with the next question. And now, so which one would you prefer? Would you prefer to live in an apartment overlooks street, bustling street, or no, you would prefer to live maybe outskirt, maybe suburbs, out of the city, out of this hustle and bustle of the city, in a big house, or maybe, I don't know, a bungalow? Which one can be your preference?
I always go for an apartment that overlook to the bustling and bustling street because I'm not a really big fan of big houses. I love living alone, so small house it's a really good option for me. Um, and and I don't. I also don't like the idea of living kind of far from the city center. It will be convenient in getting around the city, um, and it's may live kind of away from my friends, my family members too. So that I prefer the former option.
Yeah, of course, very good. So maybe you would prefer modern comfort. So, of course. So just let me say something. Okay, we have actually a phrase that you can use. It means modern comfort, and of course you can say the same phrase. Okay, but you know, modern convenience, that is mod cons. So you can use this. Okay, that is modern convenience. Okay, you can use I wish we had, for example, more mod cons, that is modern comfort or convenience. Or I am a fan of. Okay, so you can say. Or maybe, I don't know, because you normally, you know, when you talk about your ideal room, you can use wish. That's really important. For example, when I say, okay, is there any part in your room, in your home that you would like to change? And you say yes, for example, or no. So it's really good to use wish. Wish and past simple. You know that we use wish and past simple for future, for present wishes, something that we want to have, but we don't. So I wish, for example, my room was much bigger than it is. So this structure, I wish plus past simple, is really good. For example, I wish my bedroom was much bigger than it is. And now it's not really. Okay, so it's really good, okay, to use this structure when talking especially about changing something in your house or home. Well, okay. Let's move on to the second part of speaking, part two. Okay, I'm going to write your cue card on the board and then we will respond this cue card together. So let's make our answer. Okay, well, describe a home you have visited that you really liked. Say where it was, whose house or apartment. It was what it was like. And the last part is, and explain why you like this. Okay.
I'm done with preparing.
Okay. Let's get started.
Yeah. Today I'm gonna tell you about a home that impressed me a lot. It is my grandparents' a home that impressed me a lot, which belongs to my grandparents. It's a super comfy and spacious house, which located near the city center. During summer break, we could spend at least 2 days there to visit our grandparents, and as a way to gather together with other cousins and aunts and uncle. What I love most about the house, it's that from the fourth floor, it has a really good view of a park near the house, and not to mention the roof garden that we used to chill out a lot when we were a child. These days, in the daytime, it's too hot to stay outside. Um, However, at night, it could be an incredible experience to sit together, to have some chit chat, or sharing stories, or just watching a film together. Um, um, I wish I could spend more time there with my grandparents, but now everyone, including adults and children, are getting more busy with their studying and work. So we hardly get chance to gather and to visit there. But I think that um, e- uh, but um, I hope that every summer we will get a time to do it together.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so first of all, today I would like to tell, don't. I think it's not good to begin to start your answer with today because of course it's something like you're talking. So just, start it. So it's okay. And, you talked about, that was really good. Actually, you talked about your grandparents' house that, of course. So tell me, it's a normal house. Okay. So is it, you said cozy, is it small or big one? So I want to know.
Mm, I think it's kind of spacious, but I say it cozy because um, it's like bring me a sense of warmness
Yeah,
and
of course. So you can say that, of course, it's good to use maybe a good verb here. You feel at home, you feel comfortable. For example, when I'm there, I to feel at home, it means to feel comfortable. This one is, or for example, I make myself at home. I make myself comfortable. So you can, yeah, use something like this. Okay, and you can say that was really good. So we normally have actually a gathering. So you get together with your cousin and your extended family, as I told you before. Family, okay, if you want to throw, for example, do you throw a party in your, for example, grandparents home, or no, it just, you get together?
I think it's get together because
Yeah,
a party. I think it's a little bit too much.
yeah,
Since my grandparents are getting older, so they cannot really stand the big noise, the big noise.
yeah, of course. So you can say, yeah, so it can be like actually, not your dream home, can be your dream home.
Mm, well, not really because it's not my dream home, but I would like to.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, like it's not like something I've dream about, but if I get an offer to live here, I could do so.
yeah, of course. So especially because you are maybe actually you're a close-knit family. So you have actually a family who you are close to each other. So of course it can be really good. So you can use also because you mentioned, so you like to do so. You can say that because we are a close-knit family. So of course we like to be together, to get together. So actually it's a good chance to get together in my grandparents' house, and actually because of a warm and comfortable uh, something like environments. And yeah, just actually in this question, it's not bad to mention different parts. For example, it's not really big house, but actually it has maybe 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, a kitchen that is not fully furnished. So you can say something like this. Okay, it's not really modern, but it's cozy. For example, there is no spacious lounge, but we love it. Okay, so actually for the second part, because where it was good, whose house or apartment, so what it was like. So it's good to talk about different parts of house to briefly mention. So because you talk about a house, so what does it have? So maybe it's not really big, but it's cozy. 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, or for example, garage or a garden, small garden that we like it. So it's good to explain that's really, and why you feel actually something like it's felt cozy because of, for example, okay, natural light. So it's surrounded with windows, maybe, so you can get sunlight, so actually, and plenty of natural light. So because of this, you feel like it's really cozy. So it's good to mention that's really important. And after that, yeah, that was really good. For example, if there is, that's really important, if there are any windows overlook or have a beautiful view, wonderful view, you need to mention. Okay, so it's good because you need to explain the house, not only the way that you feel. Okay, different parts of house or home. Well, so that was your answer was really good. Okay, so except for the parts of house that should be mentioned, that's really important. Okay, now let's keep going. Just before I forget, so I want to give you sometimes, for example, you want to answer this question and you go to a real estate and you talk to a estate agent to buy a house, to find a house to rent, okay? So, of course, you want to say that I looked for a house to buy. How to say? Of course, you can say, I looked for a house, but you can say house hunting. So this one is important. For example, house hunting, the act of looking for, the act of looking for a house to buy. So, because, you know, I may forget this one, this can be house, property. So don't forget about using different accommodation, house, property. You can use different words here. Okay, avoid repeating want again and again. Okay, for example. And now let's keep going with the third part of speaking. So let me ask you my first question. It's a bit more general, okay? Tell me about the advantages of living in a house compared to an apartment.
Um, Advantage, right?
Of course, advantage, of course.
Mm, the first advantage that pop up in my head is um, the extended space that a house get. Uh, and I think that house it's perfectly suited with extended family or extended family uh, ex- um, and the other advantage um, well, may I start again?
Of
um,
course.
well, so I'm not living in house, so it's kind of difficult for me to call out an advantage. But the one that I can talk about is the extended space. A house is more spacious than apartment, so it's perfectly suited to extended families, and for someone who need less space, um, to less space. Uh, for example, for the children to play and uh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, very good. So I think that was really good. Of course, it's spacious, the first one, but I would say that maybe the biggest advantage is that you don't have people living above and below you as you do in a flat. So this one you can begin, you can start your answer with this. So you can say, I would say that the biggest advantage is, okay, is that you don't have to, okay, leave, or you, which one? You don't have, okay, people living, live with people or people living above and below you as you do in a flat. So I think the first one, because noisy neighbors, maybe, so noisy neighbors can be a real problem if you live in an apartment block. So another one, apartment block, you know that. If you live in a flat, so I don't want to repeat it. So that's really, and after that, secondly, maybe most apartments don't have a garden, or maybe, so of course, you don't have an outdoor place to live. Okay, so maybe you have a common outdoor area so that everyone can use it. It's not really good. So the second one, and you can mention another thing that actually a house feels more like a home of your own. That's really important. You know, even if you rent it, but it's your own. It's like, so you can say this one, the house feels more like a home of your own, even if it's rented. Okay, so you are not sharing any part of the building with other people. So maybe this one. Okay, the second question. Do you think that everyone would like to live in a larger home?
Um, well, I personally, I think it depends on each person preference. For example, like me, I don't prefer a large home. Instead, I would like something that is small but cozy, um, and make um, and comfy, makes me feel at home. So, and sometimes I'm too lazy to clean the whole house. So I can see in others, youngsters too. They prefer a small house but comfy.
Yeah, of course, very good. So that was really good. So you can say certainly not. Of course not. So, and then you can add your opinion. So, of course, as you said, it's mainly people with young families who want a more spacious home. But, as their family grows, maybe they like to have a separate bedroom for each child. Yeah, of course, more than one, for example, and more than one bathroom. So, but because it's too expensive to buy, so maybe they can't afford buy a property. So many people add an extension rather than buy. So they add an extension rather than buying a larger house to this one. And another, once the children have left home, so because of actually education or work, study, many parents downsize, downsize actually, as they no longer need so many rooms. And they often use the money they make from buying a smaller property to help their children. So you can say, for example, like they get a mortgage and they can buy a home of their own. So they help their children by downsizing their homes. So you can mention actually these points when answering this question. So of course, as you mentioned, maybe modern homes are cozy and cheap. So, and for example, inexpensive. So maybe people can buy them easily. So just they need to get a mortgage, a loan. So this one actually is good because especially when talking about a loan, okay, to buy a house. So to buy a home of your own. So you can use these words. Okay. And what do you think? What do you think living spaces will be like in the future?
In space.
Yeah, living spaces, maybe apartment buildings, homes. Where do people live in the future? Nowadays, yeah, we live in maybe apartment blocks, flats, houses. Okay, but how about future?
Um, well, I'm I'm not an expert about this, but what I can see right now is in every city, there's a growing tendency of new apartment blocks and new high-rise buildings are being built every day. So I get that. So I guess in the future, people may likely to live in an apartment block or in a block in high rise building because it will save the spaces uh, save the space um, and I wish the quality service will be enhanced in the future and everyone get access easily to the apartment.
Yeah, very good. Okay, just let's maybe change it. Let's improve it a little more. Okay, just I noted something here that I forgot to talk about. So you in actually maybe two, or I don't know which question that I asked you. So you used city center. That was good, but it's better to use downtown. So because in American, especially in American English, we say downtown. Of course, in some areas, people use city center, but you know, downtown is a better one if you want, just before I forget it. And now let's answer. So actually, you can say, of course, as you said, that's not something I've thought about before. But you know, I would guess that maybe people will live in high rises. So it's, instead of saying maybe high rise buildings, so why not? You can say high rises, very tall buildings in the future, of course. And because some places in the world are running out of space for building new houses. We don't have enough space on the ground, so we need to live in the sky. So you can say some places in the world are run out of space. It means there is no space to live, so they need to build some high-rise apartment and buildings. So maybe in the future, and we see in films, the people live in the sky. So just, and I, you know, actually I watched, yeah, a short video from China, I think. You know, very tall buildings, you know, something skyscrapers, maybe more than skyscrapers. So there was really high-rise building. So people used to live, and in the, actually you used to living here. And now, so let's talk about it. So in the future, what will happen? So of course, as I told you, maybe, and let me say, because I saw a program on TV recently, and where someone had designed a small apartment where the furniture folded away. That was really good. Fold away.
Oh,
Well, yeah, you don't need it and you can change it. For example, now it's bedroom. Okay, let's actually put it away when you don't use. And now it turns to, for example, living room. So I saw apartment that furniture folded away so you could quickly change the small space from a living room to a dining room and you can use, and then into a bedroom. So this one is really good. And the kitchen appliances, something, appliance, equipment, appliances. For example, kitchen appliances, okay, were hidden in cupboards. So, for example, when you don't need them, of course, okay, when needed, you can use them. When you don't, of course, you can hide them. So they're hidden in cupboards, you can say. And I think it was really amazing. So I think it's a sort of accommodation maybe could become common in the future. Okay, so you can say, and of course, in the places with, I think, however, in places with more land available, I don't think there will be much change in the near future. So people don't need, perhaps in 50 years. But of course, something will happen. So people won't have enough space to live, so they need to actually make changes in actually accommodation style in future. Okay, well, so we discussed this topic, and now if you have any questions, it's time to ask. So about this part, I tried to actually give you any alternatives that you will need, but if you have any questions, you can ask.
I have no question.
Okay, very good. So another session and time is over, and thank you. Again, it was really good time with you, and have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Have a great week.
Thank
Great
you
day.
so much. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.